Shirt's so wrinkled.
All right, everybody, we're back. We are back because, like I said, we ran out of time. We only got a couple seconds left, or a couple minutes left. But there was a big can of worms that was opened up with that question. A big can of worms, and I felt it was an injustice if I didn't say um, what happened today as far as Lola, what you're talking about, over sexualization of women and what we need to learn on certain stuff when it comes to building up our community. Hold on 1 second. I am trying to. Well, DB, you finish up what you were about to say while I look this one post up real quick.
Okay, but yeah, I just think that's the issue because people have a choice of what they want to do, but we need to make. I think at the end of the day, we got to make sure we're not leaving where they're only encourage opportunity and praise opportunity, sort of limits people who may not would not necessarily want to done that a particular area or been sexualized in the first place. Some people they want to be, but some people don't. And if they really had the choice, they would not have done it. They would prefer doing a different route. And I think that's the part we got to be careful about in our culture and society.
Gotcha. Go, Lola. Go ahead.
Um, I agree with you a little bit. Well, for the most part, yeah. Sometimes people are, everybody's kind of presented different opportunities in life, and sometimes people don't have any choices and they have to make certain decisions, or they feel like they have to make certain decisions. And then, like you said, there's some people who just want to make certain decisions. Um, so yeah, we do have to be careful about, trying to control people who want to kind of be out there and be sexually empowered. But then we also have to be kind of mindful about how sometimes how that message impacts you, because some people just take the message too far. They internalize it too much. Then they go out in the street and they just treat women really badly.
Gotcha.
Um,
No, go ahead.
Yeah.
so I just feel like it's time for us to start, just kind of being mindful about that, like as far as like in the media and the music and stuff like that. Just,
Yeah.
it's time for a different message.
Yeah. Because you talked about because I think originally we talked about like posting in media and like the images because it's even more areas to be able to talk about when it comes to sexualizing women in just overall. Because there's one thing about social media sexualizing someone versus like real life and workspace and so on. There's a lot in there. I think that you mentioned something before about genders and making gender stereotypes. And I think that's a huge reason why we have a lot of these issues, especially from men to women. Like what men are doing when interacting with women has a lot to do with these stereotypes that a lot of men keep passing around about of how they view men should be, but also their sort of fixed way of thinking about women. And it's this old mindset that is, if you fix that, if you start, especially, it's almost like very simple. A lot of guys don't really think of women as like these adults. And I've been from church, from anywhere. A lot of these places, even like these different areas that you wouldn't think, they're almost, when you ask them, their viewpoint of women sometimes is like this child that needs the help of a man, or they're this thing that responds to our masculinity. And from me being a guy, I've been able to see that's a huge issue of why we see a lot of the issues between how men are treating women in such a negative way. Where if those areas are fixed, it will fix a lot. But a lot more, they're summing it up. They're either thinking women are just like these children, or that their masculinity determines the actions, the belief, everything. So, like, as if they don't have a mind of their own, which is a really big can of worms. But I've noticed over time that if a lot of men weren't thinking like that, we would have a lot of the issues that men are causing amongst women in our society.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
But like I said, the only reason I wanted to jump back on, not to say that what both of y'all said wasn't good, because it's actually excellent. But the reason I wanted to jump back into it because of Lola, what you just said. There is some news that happened today that was just phenomenal and crazy. Do you know who 3D Nati is? She's from New Orleans.
No.
She's a rapper. Anyway, long story short, she got an OnlyFans account, and instead of doing nudity and stuff like that, she is she's a rapper, and she showed people how to get $1,000 grant. It's a 16-minute video, $6.99 for people to go on to OnlyFans, and she sits there and works through how you get $1,000 grant for your music stuff. Now, that happened today's Thursday. That happened on Monday or Tuesday. So when she woke up today, this is what happened. This is what it was said. How a rapper ended up in OnlyFans top 10% account without nudity.
Wow, that's pretty good.
So, I mean, like I said, like when you said that, that's why I was like, look, we got to kind of sort of take this one just a little bit further real quick. That's why I restarted the stream. What are your thoughts on...
I really got to hop off this call now.
I know. Okay. I know. You're busy. You're busy. It's
been a really long day for me. I'm so sorry. I gotta go.
No, it's all good. Holler at you later.
Vibes, nice to meet you, Dante.
What's up?
Nice to meet you too.
Holler at you later.
Thank you so much. Promise.
Oh yeah, no problem. Holler at you later.
All right.
We'll
bye.
catch up.
D. Oh, so okay, cool. So we're back. So D, with that being said, what are your thoughts on that from what she put out there?
I think that was smart. It's like I remember because like pop culture, you hear about OnlyFans. You just hear about it. Like if you're maybe older, you don't hear about it, maybe because you're like not on social media like that. But if you're in pop culture on Instagram, you hear about OnlyFans after a while. Gotcha. And you get a very quick gist of what OnlyFans is, especially during COVID-19. I knew when because the financial affected so many people, there was an increase of OnlyFans accounts, and there was an increase of people going to porn websites, because just like how alcohol was an increase, porn was an increase because people were stressed out.
Exactly.
And so I think it's
porn, weed, and it was something else. It was like it was a couple of just vices, and it's just like
and so eventually you figure out, okay, you sort of put the thing together, because I know a lot of people who are like whether like models or whatsoever who did not have OnlyFans. Now all of a sudden, because of COVID-19 hit, they thought, how can I make some money? And then then pow, they all had an account. Not everybody, but you started to notice that after a while because it started popping up everywhere.
Gotcha.
You see, you see everybody has that link, and then you start putting pieces together.
Gotcha.
With the idea of doing that, I think it's smart, because it's just like when TikTok was very popular, and just starting to get popular or something. If you were trying to be an influencer and get like your name out, you could utilize that in a very you could utilize it in a very creative way, because the audience was gearing towards that.
Gotcha.
And when you made TikTok videos, off of the same dance everybody else was doing, no one cares.
Gotcha.
But the people who made it stood out was the people who provided some form of new content.
Gotcha.
The
And it's
OnlyFans,
hard.
everybody's on there half naked, right?
Yep.
But to go on, like, if I was a church, you know what I would have done? I would have made an OnlyFans account
Yeah.
and just presented content on there, just
Yeah.
throw it around on there. Why? Because that's where the audience, the community are already, to where you're gonna get traction just because of the environment.
Gotcha.
You got maybe some wisdom regarding it. It's, you know, considering the person, but yeah, same way. Like, I think it was smart. I think it was good that she did that.
Yeah.
Um,
No, I mean, it still goes with our narrative for tonight, which is pause before you post. She could have posted anything. If you've been on her IG, you will have seen a lot of pictures. A lot of people like, oh dang, you know, she looks good and blah blah blah. Let me see what's up. Blah 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 blah. And it's like, she is an artist, like an artist. She got bars. Like, there's a video floating around. She was in LA. Kendrick Lamar was looking at her and was like, yeah, you look really good. And she was just kind of like, yeah, whatever. I still got bars for you. And, you know, I can pretty much eat you alive, you know, basically, you know, on some rap stuff. And it's just like, but you're talking to, you know, the number one dude right now in the country. And I'm from New Orleans. What's up?
Yeah.
And it's like there's just certain things that you just have to keep working at and, you know, doing whatever. And for her to be the top 10%, because that is a huge feat of what you're saying. That influx of folk coming into OnlyFans doing this type of stuff or whatever, and she just took that and said, look, give me $6.99 versus $50, you know, a month or whatever the case is, and saying, yo, I'm gonna teach you how to do this to make this money, how to do these power moves or whatever. Get on here, and in 2 days you're in the top 10%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of what you said. I think the part people also got to consider too when it comes to. I wish she would be able to still be on. But anyways,
look. If y'all know Lola, go follow her on Instagram because we couldn't even do the shameless plug stuff. Lola Cash _704. Hey, that's. I mean.
But what I was gonna say regarding that was there's. I think a lot of times we got this, especially as men, and so women have to deal with this too in some capacity because of just how our culture is. I can't speak on their behalf.
Gotcha.
I never heard it expressed as it was a common thing. I hear in some ways that some stuff can happen that way too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it does for some of them too. Thinking about references I've heard before, but. Realizing that there's a lot more to women than just their looks and their ability to have sex.
Gotcha.
Or, you know, and to where because for some women, they want to be some women want to be highly recognized for the skill set they built, not just the way they look. And I think people got to be careful of how to balance it and be respectful and appropriate. And realizing the kind of battles that women are oftentimes having to face. And it'd be better a lot of times for, I think, a lot more people to play it safe than just doing something carelessly.
Yes.
Just like how you're saying, think before you post.
Definitely.
You know, think about, hey, when I meet this lady, and she's in this professional setting, or she has this form of known for her skill set. Should the first thing I'm saying is compliment on the way she looks. And sometimes it's better sometimes people play safe, and let's try to recognize the value of women first off of something about them internally, more than just their outward surface level. Because a lot of times people can control that. And for some people who've been given that all their life, it's not as much of a compliment. it can be sort of hurtful, especially if they put a higher value system
Gotcha.
in the stuff they created or built, or their character or their skill set.
Mm-hmm.
The other part, I think, sometimes people got. This is a little bit side note.
Yeah.
Is sometimes you taking advantage of the way people think to get your message out, right? If she knows, if she's smart, she probably realized if I make OnlyFans, that everybody's going to want to hop on my OnlyFans.
And that is why she made. I know she made a lot of money.
Yeah, because everybody's like, man, I got to see her OnlyFans.
There's no. Oh, $6.99. He goes $6.
Oh yeah, I can do that. Let me go get it. We go transfer the money from my savings off to my
$7. That's lunch. Like
yeah, and they're hopping on it.
It was a power move, man.
And so, and that's the part where people can use it to their advantage. I know, people gotta use it. Sometimes people gotta use the things that society sort of value on and taking and twisting it to their own advantage.
Mm-hmm.
She couldn't do that if she wasn't attractive. If a lot of people didn't find her physically attractive,
gotcha.
they hopped on it. Where if she's being wise, she knows, hey, this is an opportunity. Mm-hmm. I'll milk it to cause the other effect. So being strategic sometimes can be helpful for stuff like that. Yeah. But I think the main point to focus on is the stuff I was saying before. We gotta be careful about that.
Exactly, man. Like I said, we were just on here. I wanted to get that last little part out because it was just kind of like there was a can of worms that was opened up. It was opened up. That happened, and it was just kind of like let me kind of sort of get this perspective from both of y'all because it's kind of like we're all business folk. We all understand how to maneuver. That was just a power move. And it was just kind of like I really want to know what that number was that she got. I want to know how many fans. I'll tell you that number later because my math's correct. I think I can add up. I think I can multiply real quick because that's one thing. Only thing that shows you how many people actually. Yeah, there you go. You already know it. Yo, so D, special Thursday edition of What's Free. The only place where you can learn how to think a little bit more, be a little bit better in today's society as a black person. Shameless plugs real quick.
You guys want to follow me? Follow me on my social media for Facebook and Instagram. For my business is Dante.Bland.LLC for my business pages. And for my personal ones is Dante.Bland.
That's it.
You visit my website, DanteBland.com.
Oh, yeah, that too. That's where people still go to websites, which they do. So get you a website. I know somebody who can actually build one. That means right there. Anyway, yo, great time. Tomorrow, there is no ATM Bank Shot. No ATM Bank Shot. Nobody's giving away no money to play basketball because we are revamping some stuff. It's pretty. It's gonna be pretty amazing. Amazeballs. I didn't want to say that. It's gonna be pretty amazing.
I heard that from somewhere.
Yeah, I know. It's gonna be pretty amazeballs. That's how that's gonna happen. Nothing's happening Saturday, nothing's happening Sunday, nothing's happening Monday. So then see y'all next week, next Wednesday. Next Wednesday, we got a couple more people who are gonna be on here, and the next Thursday. Oh, D. I have to tell everybody. This is a big shameless plug. Next Thursday. Usually I have the Pop-Up Podcast. Usually. But this is going to be a special edition Pop-Up Podcast. And you know what? Let me go ahead and stop this music real quick. Let me go ahead and stop this music. I'm gonna go ahead and put this out in the atmosphere.
Mm.
I'm gonna tell you why I'm gonna put this out in the atmosphere. Because I want to see somebody do a little bit better. They're not, but I want to see somebody who's going to do a little bit better. We are going to have the first ever game show via Zoom, pop-up podcast, and we're giving away money to. Wait a second, because we're going to raise money for the Forsyth County Public Bail Fund. And you want to know who is going to be on the show? Not one person, not two, and not three, but 8 people are going to be on this show. 8 people. And guess what? We're going to run it
That's
like.
a lot of blocks on the screen.
There's going to be a lot of blocks on the screen. And me. So 8 people plus 1, that's 9 people, right? Guess what we're going to do? The Trade for Hollywood Squares. That's what's going to happen. We're raising money. It's going to be like that. And the special guests are Steady Hyperactive. Steady Hyperactive. You don't know this rap collective, the singing collective. They're kind of like TDE for the East Coast. They're kind of like Dreamville for Winston-Salem. They're kind of like Pro Era up in New York. They're kind of like Slip and Slide around my, they're kind of like that. They're kind of like Swisher House. They're kind of like Death Row. It's about, they're about to take over. We're going to raise funds for this. It's going to be Hollywood Squares like. Yo, 1 week from now, y'all get ready. That's all I'm going to say. So I dare somebody to try to come up with something better. I dare somebody. That's how confident I know this is going to turn out. I dare somebody to come
Man, we need the jingle.
Oh, you are?
Huh?
You going to do the jingle?
I don't know the jingle.
But
I said I wish I knew it.
Oh, well, you're going to, guess what? You're going to make one, and then that's what's going to happen. Because that's what we do. That's why we are awesome. Yo, like I said, Promise Mangum, What's Free, Pop-Up Podcast, NC Future Sports, NC Brew Crew, Dante Boomer, take notes. That's all I gotta say. Take notes. Or pay us to think for you. One of them. I think I like that. Pay us. So we can think for you. We out, man. We out. We gotta go. Pause on a little bit. Deuces.